What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yo, yo, yo.
Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Happy Tuesday. Come on in the room. Tell me who is in the room. Yeah. Tell me who is in the room in the chat. Let me turn down my volume. Put my phone on silent. How y'all doing today? It's Tuesday. That's right. It's Tuesday. Hey, Miss Key. Hey, Miss Michelle. Hey, y'all. Miss Key, we need an update soon. We need an update on Section 8
Section 8,
changes.
yes. We definitely need that.
We need an update. I'm sure everyone wants to know what
What's
type
going
of
on with
changes you
Section
guys
8?
have had to make adjustments for or are currently making adjustments for. Hey, Tamika. Yes, I will. Tamika said, hold me to it. Yes, ma'am. I will. I'll hold you to it.
I'm gonna say this though, Mika. One thing is you are probably one of the most consistent people who come get this free information every week. You coming to get it.
Yeah.
Every week. So I want to commend you on coming. We actually got something for people like you who are faithfully coming, who faithfully trying to get better. It's called our Star Contributor, but we ain't roll it out yet. Maybe next month, maybe not. We'll see.
We'll see. It's been a lot of moving and shaking going on. Going on over here. I'm super excited about today's training. I'm gonna let a few more people join in. What's up, Yes?
You ain't use your favorite word.
I am so elated.
Elated.
I am so elated.
Elated. It's gonna be elated. Ashley name gonna be next to. It's gonna be next to elated.
You get on my nerves. Oh my goodness.
I love you too, girl.
What's up, Chris? What's up, y'all?
I love you too.
Are you finished?
I'm not.
Can you be?
Maybe not.
Yes.
I think about it.
It's not their time. Put your phone on silent because your phone is gonna definitely ring.
It was on silent.
All right. Hey, it's over with. Tanya.
It's not.
It is. It's over with. We're about to start training.
Let's go.
All right. You said my name is Ashley Denmark.
My name is Antonio.
All right. For those of you, if you ever want to know, like, what are we talking about when we say this, and why are we goofy when we do this, is because usually I immediately start a training without saying who I am, what I do.
You still didn't say what
I
you
didn't
do.
say what I do yet, right? But I normally like start talking and not just go straight to it. Like no fluff. We don't need all the extra fluff. We just need to go straight to it.
At least you know your damn name.
But you guys, for those of you who don't know me, I am Ashley Denmark. I am a real estate investor. I'm a real estate coach. I have been investing in real estate since 2009. That is when I bought my first deal. And to this day, I am still investing in real estate. I went full time in 2016 after being laid off from my job as an assistant VP of consumer collections. And it was a really hard gut check when it happened. It was a really hard gut check when it happened.
You take stuff way.
Well, but some people might not know that story. So it was a really hard gut check when it happened, but it is now 2025, and I can say that real estate has been the thriving force of my family, the thriving force of me since 2016. So when we are on these trainings, we are on these trainings to teach you our failures, our losses that I do not call losses, they are lessons. So if you ever hear me say like those L's, those L's that most of the time you think are losses, those are lessons. And it is meant for you. It is meant to continue to grow you. Nothing in that what you considered a loss everything in it wasn't negative. All right. Some things in it was positive, but sometimes we take that L such to heart that we feel like the whole thing may have been a negative situation. But no situation that you can ever be in can ever be completely negative. It just doesn't work like that. There's always good in it. And it's so good. And I had to be reminded of this yesterday. It is so good to see the positive in every situation versus the negative in the situation. Yeah, there's going to be negatives in it, but it's when we start to focus on the positive, we see so much greater in it than we see the negatives. So, yeah, those L's are lessons. They are meant to make you grow, help you grow, and really take you to the next level. Today's training is near to my heart because when I got laid off, we literally had to figure out like how are we gonna make this full time? Like how does real estate become full time? And we only had enough to do what was that, 3 deals, and it was literally that year that I went full time that we did 10 deals in 1 year. It took us 6 years to get to 12 properties, but the year that I got laid off, we did 10 deals at one time. And you would think with all the L's from only being able to get 12 properties in 6 years, like there were some L's in that. But those L's helped me understand, okay, this is how I structured to get 10 deals in 1 year. And the driving force of that was getting business funding, getting others who were near and dear to me business funding, and they were able to help lend on projects. They were able to do real estate too, but we had formed partnerships doing it. So it wasn't a just Antonio's money, just the Ashley's money. It literally afforded us the ability to be able to joint venture, to be able to do partnerships, to scale quicker than we did in the first 6 years. All right. And we don't talk about this much, but in those first 6 years, we spent a lot of money in education, but we didn't understand how to implement those education materials until about 6 years into it. And I don't know if it was because we were going full time then. I don't know what it was, but it was like
just
all of
ready
a
for the
sudden
information.
it started
Like,
to click.
It's layers.
Yeah.
Like it's layers to learn. I like to explain it. Even if somebody teach you how to multiply, if you don't know how to add, it don't make sense.
Oh,
so we
It's
was
the
around the
foundations.
information. So like we was gathering the foundations those years. And then once we got to a point, we understood what multiplication was. It was like, we've been hearing this all this time.
Let's
Like,
try that formula.
let's do this right here now.
Yeah.
So I would think it was just more of a learning curve.
Mhm.
And I think that's why I love doing what I do, because we can take our learning curve and shorten it down for people.
Yeah.
So they ain't got to wait 6 years to do 10
deals.
They could be doing 10 deals in year 2 if they want. But understand, it's all a process. Business funding is a big part of it, just like Ashley said, because it expedites the process.
It does.
If you truly understand the power of leverage, if you truly understand the beauty of good debt, if you truly understand that Rome wasn't built in one day, and that you just got to keep putting one foot before the other, it can happen.
Absolutely.
And we started with our own money, but you don't have to even start with your own money.
Yeah. And so the reason why this is so near and dear to my heart, when I first started investing in real estate, I was literally investing in real estate off of personal credit cards. And in my mind, it made sense. My monthly payments, the tenant paid it, and then I kept building it up. I kept asking for a balance increase, and I kept buying more deals. But let me also say this: real estate was a lot cheaper then than it is now.
Yeah.
So I was buying houses with a $7,000-8,000 credit card that you can't buy too many of them today. Let me say that.
You ain't buying nothing for 7, 8.
You might get close to 10. We were talking about a deal that could possibly go through yesterday with one of our students for 10, 11,000.
It was the pits. We was buying good houses at that price.
We were not buying good houses.
They were still standing.
They were still standing.
Come on, man. Let's go to the training, man.
All right.
Let's go.
A big part of business funding is understanding your credit report, understanding what credit looks like, understanding the valid information that lenders are looking for on your credit report. All right. We like to call that your data points. All right. Your data points are literally, if I was to line me, Antonio,
are you following the training?
Yes, if I was to line me, Antonio,
I don't see this.
Can you focus to
I'm
analogy?
trying to focus.
Just let me talk.
Okay.
All right. If I was to line Antonio and myself up, what makes us different and what makes us the same? All right. Our accounts, our utilization, our derogatory, our number of inquiries. Those are things that factor in your data points. All right. I'm gonna add you because you can't function. You're like a little kid.
I'm just sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Hey.
All right. So when it comes to data points, there are two sets of data points that lenders look at. And when I'm saying lenders, I'm talking about your Wells Fargo. I'm talking about your traditional banks. All right. Your Bank of Americas. There are literally data points that they are looking for before telling you yes to business funding or funding.
We are not talking about real estate funding.
We are not. Absolutely not.
I gotta start making that clear and drawing the line. We are talking about business funding, not real estate funding. All right.
This means
two separate things.
That the information that we teach today, you can use it for any business entity that you have, not just to fund your real estate deals. All right. If y'all got that, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If y'all got that, give me a thumbs up in the chat because I need to make sure.
I was on a call 2 days ago and they didn't have what they needed for business funding, but they had what they needed for real estate funding to do hard money. And when I was like, you are set for hard money, they was like, what? Really? You say I need this, and this. I'm like, no, that's for business funding. Now, I think this is where it get twisted at. When you get real estate funding, it's in your business name, but we don't consider that business funding. We consider that hard money. We consider that real estate funding. All right. So two separate things.
All right.
You got some thumbs up.
I see my thumbs up in the chat.
What's up, Stuart? What's up, Greg? Greg, how much funding y'all got, Greg?
In total.
Between the both of y'all.
Drop it in the chat.
All right, back to the data point.
All right. So if you are looking to get personal funding, meaning you might not quite be ready for business funding, there are two different criteria that the lenders are looking for. All right. Personal funding is lines of credit, it is loans, and it can be personal credit cards. All right. I don't like the personal credit cards as much, but if you get it, just know that you are building up your data points, you're building up your credit profile so that you can get business funding. All right. So from a personal aspect, you need a 680 or plus credit score, no collections, no derogatories. If you have a late payment, the max that you can have is one late payment. All right. They want to make sure you have 4 to 5 primary accounts. What are primary accounts? Primary accounts are accounts where you are the sole owner. All right. You're not an authorized user. You are the sole owner. They want you to have 4 to 5. And then your credit age, meaning the average of all your accounts, they want your credit age between 1 to 2 years. All right. Not that many inquiries, less than 7 inquiries per bureau. And your utilization, meaning how much revolving credit you have used. Your revolving credit is your credit cards. They want that to be under 30%. All right. Ideally, they want you to have a minimum personal credit card of $5,000 limit. They don't want you to have used all of that 5, but the limit to be $5K minimum.
What's up, Ms. Adams? All right. Couple points that I got off of personal side.
Okay.
The score is not that important. All right. The makeup of the report is more important than the actual score. All right. So keep that in mind that the makeup is important, because if you got a 700 credit score, but you don't have any credit cards, you don't have a good business, you don't have a good profile to go for funding. You definitely need to do personal funding so that you can get some primary revolving accounts under your belt. All right. The other thing I want to stress is, if you do personal, try to get more loans than credit cards. All right. And the reason you want to get more loans is because with loans, they are called installment loans. And installment loans are less than 10% of your credit report, compared to credit cards, what they call revolving credit. That's 30% of your report. So if you get a loan for $20,000 and your balance is $20,000, it's not going to totally hurt your credit score compared to a credit card for $20,000 and you use $20,000 of that card. All right. So it's two different things. Now, can you get personal cards? Yes. But I get personal cards for people who are building their profile up to get business funding.
Yes, not to necessarily use as a funding method. And that was one of the things that I did wrong. I bought it on my personal credit cards versus building myself up to go for business funding and using those personal cards just kind of like as an icing and cherry on top, so that I look good for business funding. So that's what I need you guys to take that in. If you are looking to get started investing and this is what you want to do, when you got some personal cards and you like, you know what, I got a personal credit card of $20,000, I'm gonna use that to start investing. No.
Investing in properties.
Don't use that to invest in properties. Let's line you up so that you can get a business credit, so that as you are using that $20,000, your credit score isn't going down at the same time.
And I'm sure we're going to talk about it at some point, but you brought it up. The reason that we like business credit so much is that the right business credit does not report to your personal credit. All right, I'm going to say that again. The right business credit does not report to your personal credit. So if you get a $20,000 business credit card and you max it out $20,000,
it's not going to drop your credit score.
Your personal score is not going to feel those effects at all. So that's one of the reasons that we love business funding, is because it does not report to the personal side unless you mess up or you get the wrong card.
Hey, Tanya. So with that being said,
what you say you close again,
Michelle,
what you missing? I know you understand this. What you missing? Talk to me.
Yeah, drop it in the chat. Tell us what you're missing. Let's get you over that hump. Did you go over business?
I didn't.
Okay. So an ideal business profile when it comes to getting funding is having a 680 or higher credit score. The higher, the better. 0 collections or derogatories. Absolutely no late payments. Ideally to have 10 plus primary accounts. What are my primary accounts? It can be credit cards. It can be HELOCs. It can be a mortgage on your personal house. It can be a car loan. It can be installment loans. It can be student loans. Okay. Like those all hit for primary accounts. You want 10 plus primary accounts, and you want your credit age, the average of your credit history, to be 4 to 5 years. All right. That's the average years on your credit report. Less than 4 inquiries per bureau, and under 20% utilization. All right. They want you to have at least 2 personal credit cards with a minimum limit, not balance, with a minimum limit of $5,000 each. The higher your limits are,
the better.
The more funding you'll get. All right. Because no one wants to be the first person to give you 25, 30,000, 50,000. All right. They want to know that you can manage cards. They want to know that you can do it. So you want to make sure that your personal credit report is set up that way for business funding.
Okay. Couple notes about business funding. All right. This is a ideal profile. Okay. Your profile does not, you don't have to have all of these things to go for business funding.
Correct.
All right. And even if you had all of these things in line, you're still going to get some denials because banks work different. Their underwriting is different depending on what bank you go to.
So don't get in your feelings if you get a denial from 2 places and then all of a sudden as you're getting ready to quit, then you get an approval. It's a part of the process. Everyone is not gonna, just like in the real world, you're not gonna be that it factor for everyone, but you're gonna be that it factor for someone. So don't lose hope in the process. Like keep going, keep fighting, keep pushing, because you may get denials, but you may get that one that's worth all the denials, that one positive that's worth all the denials.
Yeah. So make sure that if you go, let's say you don't have everything in line. Let's say you might have 7 primary accounts. Let's say you might have 5 inquiries. Let's say your utilization might be right at 20%. You can still go for funding.
Right.
Just know that you're not going to get the maximum amount of funding. All right. But that's not even the worst thing in the world, because you can go through funding the first time, and let's hypothetically say you get $50,000. All thing you got to do is continue to build your personal profile, and then 6 months later,
do it again.
Go for business funding again.
Yeah. Hit banks that you didn't hit before. Hit banks that may have told you no. Like, it's literally a process, and literally you can do it. Teresa said she has 10 plus accounts, 0 lates, 11K plus limits, a good mix and a good age, but too many inquiries and need to pay down the utilization. Go through credit repair, get those inquiries removed, and literally add a trade line to lower your utilization. That's all you got to do.
You can literally be ready for business funding in 30 days. Now, it takes some work. It's going to take some funds to expedite that process.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things,
those funds could potentially be cheaper than paying down their debt.
Yep.
So literally 30 days away.
And we say under 20% utilization, ideally under 10 is where we've seen the most results. But 20 is kind of like that max to where you got to be under that for real. All right.
If you guys have questions, please drop them in the chat. She put yes, trade line. Absolutely. All right. Let's talk about how do we get funding literally without a business. All right. I know you guys were like, how do you get funding without a business?
All you talking about is business funding. How you get funding without a business?
You need a business to get business funding. I mean, eventually you do. All right. But first steps to getting a business, getting business funding without getting a business. If you don't have a business, you can buy a business. All right. You can buy an age corporation. You can buy a business entity that is in good standings, that hasn't had much activity. That's important. That hasn't had activity. That's in good standings.
They filed their taxes.
They filed taxes on it. You can buy a business. So you went from not having a business to having a business. We call that buying an age corporation. That means a seasoned business. All right.
And just paint the picture, put it in everyday scenario for people. Mr. Demart, man, I got a 750 credit score, man. I got all that stuff you talking about, them data points. I ain't got no late payments, man. My utilization down. I want to go get business funding. All right. This is what I would tell you. You can start an LLC, and it's not going to cost that much. We'll talk about that next. And you can go get business funding, but your approvals are going to be low. But what I would tell you is, let's go and buy age corporation. Ideally, let's buy a 2-year-old age corporation, because at 2 years old, all the banks feel you're safe now. So if you buy a 2-year-old age corporation and you put that with good credit, you can get $150,000 in 30 days in business funding. Just like that.
If $100,000, you said 150. If $150,000 in the next 30 days could change your life, put fires in the chat.
Fires, 150. And business funding to go do what you got to do. And we talk real estate all the time, but it's not just real estate. Like literally, we got a guy, Mr. Booker. He's going to go for funding. And a part of his plan is he's going to use some of the funding to go towards real estate, but he also sell cars. So he's going to use some of the funding to invest in his car business. Mm-hmm. So if he ideally we're planning, he's buying an Age Corporation now, got good credit. Ideally, he gets $150,000 in business funding. If he get $150,000 in business funding, the plan is we're gonna take about 75 to put towards real estate. That should be 2 to 3 deals. Then we're gonna take the other 75 and we're gonna get some cars. So understand he's using the business funding in multiple ways. Mm-hmm. It don't just have to be partnered with real estate. Mm-hmm. You can use this money to help market your business. You can use this money to help hire employees. You can use this money to help buy supplies. Mm-hmm. It's not just real estate. All right. Mm-hmm. I know we wear that real estate hat all day, every day, but understand that if you get business funding, you have the possibilities and the options all around you.
I see y'all fires. So listen, after you buy that Age Corporation, then you want to open up a checking account, all right? A business checking account. And then once you open up your business checking account, well, let me say the reason why you open up that business checking account. The reason you open up that business checking account is because you want to build a relationship with the lender that you're getting ready to apply for. All right. You want them to know that I am not just coming to you to ask, can I borrow some money? All right. I am literally coming to you because I want to work with you. I want to be in a relationship with you. I want to have a partnership with you. Like, just like you would do if you were in a relationship with somebody, that's exactly what you're doing with the lender. All right. I want to be in a partnership with you. I want to be in a relationship with you. I want to spend time with you. I spend time with you by investing, by opening up a bank account and doing business with you. All right. After you've opened up that bank account, then you want to apply for whatever line of credit products that they have and whatever credit cards that they have. All right. Once you do that, then you literally have just opened the doors for you getting business funding.
Yep.
All without having a business, by literally buying an Age Corporation, investing in that Age Corporation, opening up their bank account, and applying for their banking products that they have. Say I applied for a line of credit. I applied for 2 credit cards and they denied my line of credit, but they said yes to 2 credit cards, and those credit cards was $25,000 each. Y'all good with that?
Typically, on the business side, you get approved for a lot more funding than on the personal side. But they want to at least see on that personal side, you've been able to manage what you had. Mm-hmm. $5,000-$10,000 card. If somebody got like a $20,000 personal card and they go for business funding, man, you might well start racking it up, ringing the bell. They're going to get all the money. Mm-hmm. Because they show they can manage a $20,000 card. Nobody's gonna be afraid to give them a $50,000 card. Here you go. Right. They want a $75,000 card.
But let me ask this question: If you went to just one bank only and you applied for 3 products, they denied you on one and said yes to 2, equaling 50,000. Are y'all good with business funding? Like, I need something in chat. I need to know if y'all good with business funding on that.
What's up, Rosa?
Okay. All
right.
Now remember, drop your questions in the chat. This training is for you guys. So don't leave here. Don't let us leave here if you still have questions or you're uncertain with the things that we're saying.
And there is no silly question, y'all. Mm-hmm. The littlest thing is what holds us back a lot of times. Ask the questions. Mm-hmm. All right. We got these slides up here. It's just to keep us on track. But if y'all are asking questions, man, we'll be more than happy to answer those questions.
Yeah. And let me say this. We understand that everyone can't be a part of our mentorship. So that's why we invest every Tuesday in these trainings to be able to give it to you guys. So it's not about being a part of our mentorship. Those things come, but we want to be able to teach people who can't afford our mentorship, because we know it's not the cheapest thing, but we want to get you off the sideline and get into the game. So This is our way of investing. We spend a lot of money just to make sure we can go to YouTube. We can have the right cameras for you guys, have the right internet for you guys, have the right systems and processes so that you can learn this training literally in the comforts of your home for free. So ask your questions while you have us. Most people, when they do these trainings, you can't ask questions. We want you to ask questions and be involved. All right. New entities. So
in Alabama,
Buying an age corporation, you're buying a seasoned LLC. You're buying a seasoned corporation. But you can literally buy new entities, and you can literally get you a new entity. Antonia say, you know what, Ash, I'm ready to go for business funding. I may not have all the funds when it comes to getting a seasoned LLC or getting a seasoned corporation, but I can afford to get a new LLC. In Alabama, it typically costs about $300 or so to start your brand new LLC. All right, that's if you're doing it, you're following the guidelines on the state of what is the Secretary of State website. All right, every state is different, but most of them are in this ballpark. All right. If someone else does it, it's going to be about $500 to $1,000 if they're forming that LLC for you. Let me say this: pay for what you need, okay? Don't sit here and try to pay $300 and you have no idea of what documents you need. You've never done it before. You can't call anyone to help you with it. Like, pay for what you need. If that service is $500 or $1,000 and it's gonna make you be in good standings with the IRS and with the state, I need you to pay for that and don't try to cut the corners trying to save a buck. All right, get it done right. So new LLCs receive anywhere between $25,000 to $35,000 in funding. Ash, why don't new LLCs receive that much? The reason why new LLCs don't receive that much in business funding is because you're brand new.
They don't trust you.
You don't have a track record. They don't know if you're going to be around in 6 months, in 3 months, in a year. So they want to be very cautious with how much money they lend. Even if you build a relationship, they're building a relationship too. And it's that you cute and all. However, let's just talk for a minute before we do anything else. That's what they're doing. All right. We're gonna talk about that. Okay. I apologize if this has been asked, but what's the range of a seasoned LLC? Okay, I got 2 questions on that. So we're gonna go to that. Did we say that yet?
I think it's on your next slide.
Okay. Any questions about brand new LLCs and can you get a funding with a brand new LLC?
That message up.
This more?
Right there.
Okay, Teresa said Navy Federal denied me for a business credit card, but that was earlier last year. Credit profile will be better next time. Wondering is that the same thing as business credit, or should I apply for a business loan or something? So business credit can be in the forms of credit cards, loans, lines of credit. Like, those are all business funding. How do you know it's business funding? It's in your business name. But I would say, just like I said with starting up a new entity, if it's not something that you know how to do, then let somebody else who has experience do it. And I say that because I had a close friend that said, you know what, I'm going to do this myself. And he applied for a whole bunch of different credit cards, and it shut down his credit profile and put a fraud alert on it. And he had to prove that he was who he said he was.
It opened up a whole can of worms.
And he literally could not get funding for the next 6 months until he proved that. So literally, one bad move can literally change things. However, if you know what you're doing, you did it before, you tested it out, do it. All right.
If you had success with
it. If you know what credit bureaus they're pulling from, and that's the credit bureau that you look the best in, do it. All right. Some lenders, if they see that you are applying for credit from other lenders, they will shut down the card they won't give you the card that you're applying for or the line of credit you're applying for. But if you have any other cards with them, they will shut them all down and make them all due. No lender wants to know that you need the money. And if they see that you are shopping for other cards, then they will shut you down. So it's important to do them first.
I think you glazed over this, but I'm gonna hit on it again.
Okay.
When banks look at you, they like to give money to people who don't need the money. They don't want to give money to people who need the money. Don't ask me why it's like that. That's just how it works. So a lot of times we wait until we need the money and we go to the bank and say, hey, let me borrow some money. And then they say no. and then we mad and we frustrated.
We frustrated, heart palpitating. How dare you deny
I
me?
mean, I done did this and I did that, but you need money
right now.
Banks give money to people on paper who look like they don't need it. They got money in the bank. They got credit cards that got a lot of room on them.
They're not applying for a lot of things at one time.
Yes, those are the people who get the most credit.
I think we're good.
All right.
All right. So you can buy different seasoned corporations and LLCs. All right.
We only talk about 1 and 2 years because that's kind of where we like to be. But you can buy a 5-year age corporation. You can buy a 10-year. Like you can buy what you want. You just gonna pay for it.
Yeah, it just goes up with the price.
The older the LLC, the more money it costs you to buy. So if you have an LLC or if you had an LLC in the past, you will come out way cheaper getting that LLC back in good standings versus trying to buy a age corporation or even start a new LLC.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've been talking to a young lady and she's getting her business privilege tax taken care of since 2018. Like that's going to be cheaper than buying an age corporation.
Absolutely. So if you needed to buy a 1-year-old entity, age corporation, you can purchase that. And that's anywhere. If you are purchasing it from someone, it's going to be about $3,500. All right. For someone else.
That's like the bottom.
Yeah. And that's for someone to legally get you reported, make it in good standing, swap over that EIN so that you have it. Let the IRS know that it is now your entity, get all the taxes. Like that's $3,500 at the bottom for a 1-year-old age corporation. All right.
With the 1-year age corporation, you'll get about $50,000 to $80,000. If it's at least 1 year old, $50,000 to $80,000 is what we see on average.
On average. Now listen, 10 months is not 1 year old. All right. Just because it's one calendar year, it's not 1 year old. Okay. And I say that because oftentimes people get this part mixed up. Just because it's one calendar year doesn't make it 1 year old. If you started it on June 1st in 2022, in 2023, just because, no, we're in 2025. If you started it June 1st, 2024, just because it's February 2025 does not mean you have a 1-year-old entity. Okay. It's literally on June 2nd is 1 year old. Okay. So that's important. So 1-year-old age corporation, bottom is going to charge about $3,500 to get that done. All right. That's just how much it is. But again, you can start you a brand new one for $300 to $500, depending on if you're doing it or someone else is doing it.
A 2-year-old entity is what we like. That's what we're going to recommend at all times. With the 2-year-old LLC, it's going to be about $6,000 and up. That's kind of like the cheapest I've seen them. That's the cheapest I know how to get them. It's for $6,000. 90% of people who get an age corporation and they have their credit in line get $100,000 plus in funding. Mm-hmm. It's like clockwork. Mm-hmm. If you don't get $100,000 plus in business funding, it's because you chose not to. All right.
So let me say this: when Tonya said like that's the bottom, the more people you add to your entity, the more money it costs. All right. So what may start off as $6,000, you add 5 people to your entity, expect that price to go up. Right. All right. So the more intricate it is, the more things that need to be done, the more the attorney is gonna charge you to be able to give it to you. All right.
All right.
Any questions? I know we answered the seasoned LLCs and seasoned business cost questions. What other questions do you guys have?
One other thing I say is that when you are doing applications and you're trying to get business funding, a lot of times they are going off of stated income. So if in an ideal world, if I had a tip, I would want to apply for the banks that got stated income or projected revenue, not the ones to where I got to do a profit and loss statement and all those things. So like all the banks that we use and all the banks that we got relationships with, they are no doc type of banks. So we're not. You don't got to have a profit and loss statement. You don't got to show your tax returns. It's all stated income. So that's key, especially when you're buying a age corporation. You can state how much the business is going to make.
It is a projection of what you are projecting your business to make.
And keep in mind, in real estate is a high value industry. And if you flip one property or two properties, that's a high gross amount on your paperwork. So just keep in mind that it's not crazy to say I plan on grossing $100,000 in a year in real estate. That ain't gonna mean you gonna net $1 million. I mean, but you can gross $1 million in a couple deals in real estate.
In 4 to 5 deals, honestly. Yep. Maybe depending on where you're investing, maybe even 2.
Yeah, because you're in Florida, that's 2, maybe 3 deals.
All right, y'all learning something? If y'all don't
know, what's them questions? Give me them questions. I know them questions ringing through your head. Miss Adams, Rosa, how close you is, Rosa? I know you was close, Rosa. Miss Parker, what's some questions running through your head?
All right. So when you are on the cuffs of getting business or personal funding,
I don't know if I approve of the word cuffs.
When you are very close to getting business or personal funding, you want to make sure that you don't add a new inquiry to your credit report. All right. You want to make sure that you are building and boosting your credit report without getting an inquiry. All right. The most important ways, well, not the most important ways, but we'll talk about the ways that you can literally add accounts to your credit report without getting an inquiry. All right.
Because inquiries matter. Don't forget.
Yes.
Too many inquiries
show that you're looking for money and that you need it. And remember, they don't want to lend to someone that looks needy or looking like they're not going to pay them back. All right. So the first way that you can add an account to your credit report without getting an inquiry is going to selflender.com, right?
Selflender.
Yeah. Going to Selflender. Selflender is going to allow you to put accounts on your credit report without getting an inquiry. You want to talk about it?
Yes. You can go to Kickstart also. And Kickstart and Selflender can kind of do the same thing. They'll let's hypothetically say they can put a $500 loan on your credit report. And as you're making payments, that will give you on-time payments. And then at the end of it, they'll give you the money back minus their fees.
Yeah.
So if your report needs to be thick and you need accounts, Selflender and Kickstart are those type of places that you can get things reported to your credit and you have control over, and you don't even need an inquiry with those things.
Absolutely. The cool thing about it is it adds to the mixture of accounts. So say you don't have any installment loans, you only have revolving, which is credit cards. Literally adding a Selflender or Kickstart will literally add an installment loan. So now your mixture of accounts goes up, which means your credit score is going to increase as well. All right.
We if you haven't heard about Experian Boost will attach to your bank account, and the things that you have on recurring payments, they'll report those things to your credit report. Netflix, Hulu, phone bill, like anything that you're recurring paying for, they can report those. Now, the only bad thing about Experian Boost is it's just on Experian.
It's hence the word Experian Boost. It's only boosting up your Experian credit report. All right.
Rent reporters. If you go there,
Rent reporters is probably something we've been using since 2016, 2017.
I would say that's our second favorite.
That's our second favorite. If you are renting a house, if you are renting an apartment, you can literally get those rental payments reported to your credit report, and you can backdate it as far as 2 years.
2 years is a part of the basic plan, but you can go back as far as 5 years on the rent reporters. And that's so valuable because if you are a person who needs some history on your
credit
report,
age,
and you can report 5 years of on-time payments, that could totally change how your credit report looks.
Now listen, if you are not paying your landlord and you want them to go back 5 years, 2 years, don't expect it, because they literally send the landlord an email every month where they have to mark off if they're paying on time or if you're not paying on time. So you want to make sure you're in good standings with it. If you have um you know someone that has a property that's just sitting that you can rent from, bam, you can use rent reporters if you're not renting and you're a homeowner. All right. So there are so many ways that you can use that to get history, to get an installment, and to literally boost your credit score again without getting an inquiry. All right.
And these things again are good for people who real close and personal but want business.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can invest in some of these things so that you'll be ready for business. Our number one way to get somebody that's not ready is by buying trade lines, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can literally buy trade lines, credit boosters, and if you have a utilization problem, the right credit booster will solve that problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a history problem, the right utilization will solve that problem. And these are things that does not put an inquiry on your report.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Like literally can change your credit score in 30 days without putting an inquiry and hurting you when it's time to go for funding.
I got a quick example. We talked to a lot of different people. One of our people we talked to yesterday. What's the day?
Today is Tuesday. So yes.
Yesterday, we talked to yesterday. They was on a trade line and they called in like, hey, my credit score dropped 26 points.
Because that trade line is off.
Because that trade line fell off. Like literally, that's how powerful trade lines are.
Mm-hmm.
It can increase you 20, 30, 40, 100 points. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Depending on what your profile is and what that credit card that you buy.
Now, let me throw in this. If you are not ready to execute, don't buy a trade line. Like, let that trade line be right before you execute so that they can show up. Because when you are doing trade lines, if you are paying for it, then there's literally only a certain amount of time that they're going to allow you to be on their trade line before you get kicked off. So you want to wait till you're ready to go before you add that trade line. Let it just be that cherry on top. If you know someone that will allow you to be an authorized user and they have a good credit profile, they got good history, no missed payments, not a brand new account, low utilization, then they'll let you probably be on it for longer than someone if you're buying a trade line.
One thing I will say is that when you are buying the trade lines, you do not get the actual card. The card will come in the mail. We just cut that card up. So you do not have access to that credit line. All right?
Yeah, it's not
under no circumstances do you use that access.
If you buy a trade line and you see that it says you have a new account, it's not that you apply for anything. It's because the trade line has been added to your profile. So I think that's really important because it's like, wait, who's applying for things on my behalf? No, you got a trade line or you ask someone that you know to add you as an authorized user. That's why you got a message saying, hey, you got a new account. All right.
Secured credit cards. If you have 120, you can lose $25, but you can
I don't know if many of them do 25 anymore.
100.
Yeah, most of them are $100.
You can take that 100 and take it to the bank, and they'll give you a credit card with a limit of how much you gave them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good way to start building relationships with banks to increase your credit. So if let's say you got $2,000, you could Navy Federal is a good one. You could take $2,000 Navy Federal. They'll hold that $2,000. They'll give you a credit card in the amount of $2,000,
mm-hmm.
and you use it just like a credit card.
And guess what? You want to stay under 30%, even though it is your money. You want to stay under because you don't want your utilization to go high. But those are literally our top ways for boosting up that credit right before it's time to go for funding and not getting a utilization hit on your credit report.
Have anybody that's watching use any of these options? Have anybody used a self-lender? Have anybody used Kickstart? Have anybody used Experience Boost? Have anybody used Rent Reporters? Have anybody used the trade line? Whether you bought a trade line or you sold a trade line, or you got a secured card? Have anybody on here actually used any of these options that we're talking about?
If you use them, go ahead and type it in the chat. Let us know which one you use. Are we sponsored
And
by?
these,
Go. And these.
and these are just a few of them, y'all. It's there are more of them. These are just a few of them. These are the ones that we like, easy to use.
Oh my goodness. So this particular client came to us and she was like, listen, I've been investing in real estate for 2 years. Oh, I see you. Somebody said they use a secure card. Martez used a secure card. Burns used Rent Reporters, Self Trade Line Supply. There we go.
Let's go, Cliff.
Absolutely, absolutely. Literally, we had a student been investing in real estate probably about 2 years and has always partnered, has always been the talent and the time in the deal. And literally, you can come in wherever you are, whether you have time, you have talent, or you have treasure.
I was just saying, you got to explain that.
Yeah. So we like to call it our 3 T's: time, talent, and treasure. You don't have to have all of them. You need to figure out what it is that you have and then find a partner that has what you're lacking.
All right, let me back up. My wife, she do that sometimes. We're talking about forming partnerships, okay? When you form a partnership, there are 3 T's. And those 3 T's are
time, talent, and treasure. All right. So this particular person, they didn't have the treasure when they first started, but as they started to invest, as they started to literally follow the process, they created something that's pretty amazing. So they told us this year, this is going to be our year. We are going through funding. This is what we need to do.
She's going through funding,
yeah,
not we.
Yeah, she's going through funding. And literally, she went through funding, and her first 3 were denials. And she sent us a message. She was like, you know what? I think I want to hold off on this funding. I don't really want to do this. I can't take these denials that's coming in. I thought that my profile was ready for funding, but it's really not ready for funding. And we immediately started laughing because we knew what time it was. And we started laughing. We was like, chill out. Immediately while we were on that, we were texting. An approval came in for $75,000 in business funding.
Just like that.
And my response back was, you still want to quit? Because she didn't use the words quit, but that's what it was. You still want to quit?
She was basically leading up to, I don't want to do this no more.
This isn't for me. So you may get some denials, all right? You may get some. That's fine. But just know an approval is coming. Just wait and let it happen.
Especially if you got the data points, y'all. Like, that's the key.
That's
like
the key.
You got them data points. You don't even got to worry about it. It's gonna come. You just got to continue to hit the banks, the right banks in the right time in the right sequence. It's gonna come.
Absolutely.
What you doing?
So I'm refreshing because it looked like it got stuck over here. And so literally, that's exactly what happened. And she got $110,000 in business funding. All right,
missed a whole lot of comments.
That's why I had to refresh. I got this.
Come on, man, technology.
You get an F. You get an F. The most I've done is being an authorized user, but the utilization is too high, and I've been trying to get off. So
backfire.
Yeah, you got to know who you are being whose account you're being an authorized user on. You want to make sure that they have what you need. All right. Whatever you're lacking, just like in the partnership, whatever you're lacking, you gotta make sure they need.
And try to do it for a small window, y'all, because if you're on a trade line and that person has to go on a trip and they use that card and that utilization goes up, it's gonna go up on your profile also.
Yeah.
If that person miss a payment, it's gonna go on your profile.
Yeah.
So you gotta be selective. A lot of times we don't want to invest in the trade line because we like, oh, well, I could just get this one for free. But if it backfires on you and they get a late payment or they get high utilization, now you're in the worst position than you was before you actually got the trade line.
I had a client that we were helping to get ready to buy their first house, and the young man was on his mother's trade line, and she had put him on there years back, and it was her way of helping him. Well, it was actually hurting him, and he didn't know how to have the conversation with her to say, "Ma, I need you to take me off of that card because you have used too much of it for what I need, and I really need more. It is hurting me right now. It's looking like I can't afford the amount of house that I'm trying to buy because of this authorized user card." And literally, it was like we had to talk through what that conversation looked like so that it didn't hurt the mom's feeling, but it still got them into the house. So yeah, sometimes it may not be family members or friends. You might have to go outside to get your trade lines and then do it for a short window. All right.
You missed some stuff up.
I'm gonna. She said she's used Phil. They've used trade lines. They have used kickoff. Okay.
Good job, Miss Parker. I keep telling you,
I missed that. I said
it like 5 times, and you just keep like, yeah, okay.
So D Nation put that we can help them ensure that they have the inquiries are removed and that they get trade lines. D, let me know if you mind if I tell your story. Tell me if you mind. I won't tell her unless you give me approval. All right. So yeah, she got 110,000 in business funding. Right, and got the 75,000 right when she was getting ready to quit.
Can we answer this question?
Yes.
Miss Smith put, can you explain the time frame to pay back net 30, net 60, etc.? Okay. Before I answer the question, because I'm not gonna do what my wife do, understand that when we talk about business funding, we're not talking about getting net 30 and net 60s account. Like, that's the long way of building your business profile. We like to use our personal credit to get immediate access to the best of the best business product, even if it means we got a personal guarantee. All right. So when what we're talking about is not net 30s, net 60, but I can't answer the question. When they say a net 30 account, what they mean is you have 30 days to pay this back in full.
Yes.
Or if you get a net 60 account, you got 60 days to pay it back in full. So if you go to Staples and you buy a $500 computer on a net 30 account, in 30 days, they want you to pay it back in full.
That's your end. Like, if you can pay it back sooner, pay it back sooner. But it's you get up to 30 days to pay it back.
Yeah, so that's when you are building your business. That's the infant stages of building
your business
credit through profile. The Dun and Bradstreet and the NAV direction. But that's not how we do it.
So that process usually takes about 6 months till about 18 months, depending on how consistent and how many things you have done from a net 30, net 60 account. That's the loan process. We want to get you business funding in 30 days, 45 days max.
Yes.
D said we can tell her story.
You tell it then.
Well, no,
I'm gonna mess it up. No, you brought D's story up. Okay.
All right. So D didn't have a lot of she didn't have a lot of primary accounts.
I remember that.
See, she didn't have a lot of primary accounts on her credit report.
No. So all right.
Yes, that too.
That too. So D report was tricky. She had a good score, but she didn't have all of the data points. Her utilization was above 20%, and she had the profile, but it wasn't enough. So what we did with D profile was, which is crazy, we went and got a personal loan first.
And she was crazy.
I can't afford to pay a personal loan and these credit cards. So what we did was we got a personal loan, but the personal loan payment amount was equal to the minimum payment amount or credit cards. So we got a personal loan. I forgot how much that personal loan was for.
D dropped how much the personal loan was for in the chat.
And we took the personal loan and we paid off all of her credit cards or most of her credit cards. And when we did that, that shot her utilization up through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
To counteract the new account, we added a trade line that had a lot of history. Now, it didn't have it wasn't a big limit, but it had a lot of history. So therefore, her credit report balanced out to where her utilization was down under 20%.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she had a new account, her credit age was still good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that was just a trick that we used for D. And I forgot how much she ended up with. And
Wait,
I should.
She gonna drop that in the chat too.
Okay.
So what she did was
12,000.
It was 12,000 for the personal loan, and that paid down the credit cards. And that in return, she had like a 790?
Yeah, it shot up to like crazy
numbers.
Like I know it was over 50 points. It shot up because we was at like 630, 640, and get them numbers right there if I'm wrong. But by the time we finished, we was at like 740, 750. And this is like in less than 30 days.
30 days. I gotta find that screenshot of you sending it to us. Like, this is my credit report. Like, woo!
You can't believe it.
How much did you get in total in funding? I felt like it was like 160, but I don't know for sure. I don't remember for sure. Drop it in chat. But literally, I can't make this up. Like, she was like, I'm not gonna be able to get business funding. I can't do this. Like my credit scoring where it need to be. I could do personal funding, but I can't do business funding. Like, that's not gonna.
And when I tell y'all, she was like scared. She was super hesitant. Like she just did not believe it would work. But she did it.
She did it. Yeah. It shot up
100 points. Now, I'm telling y'all, she telling y'all out of her own mouth. Like,
right.
And it was all because we got a $12,000 loan and paid off her revolving credit. Everything else on the profile was good, but it was just those tweaks that can get you over the hump.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's literally just those tweaks.
She got 100.
She got 100. She got 160 in business money is what she just confirmed. But it's those tweaks that you may feel like you are so far away. But literally, that girl is good. But it is literally just a step away. She said her credit score went up 100 points. It went to a 790. Like,
it's currently a 790.
It's currently a 790. And she got 160 in business money. Like,
I make that up.
No, you can't make this up. So let me tell you, for everybody who you feel like, man, I can't start investing in real estate. I can't start my business. I can't do it. I'm too far away. You only too far away because you're looking at it from your lenses. All right. You're looking at it from your own perspective. All right. You have to have someone that can look at it from a bird's eye view and that can tell you, okay, turn right. Okay, go straight for about a mile and then turn left. If you don't have that, then it does look like it's unachievable. It looks like it's so hard. It looks unattainable. I promise you. But that's a part of being in the community. That's a part of learning with us, you guys. So now you can learn. You can literally take these principles and look. How do I get there?
And not only help your report, but you can help the people that's connected to your report.
Connected to you.
Because right now, Dee can almost talk to anybody in her circle and be like, I know about credit. This is what happened to my credit.
This is what
Let me help you. So the thing isn't to just help that person. Our thing is we know we help that person gonna help other people. Yeah. And it's just gonna keep branching out.
Yeah. That's literally what it's about. Oh, D. All right.
Bro, you over your time.
I am over my time. You're right. So I'm gonna leave it right here. We'll monitor this for a few days, for as long as you write. If you got any questions, if after this training you come up and you decide, Antonia, Ashley, I got a question. I didn't quite understand that. Drop it in the chat, drop it in the comments, and we'll review it, we'll respond. Because our ultimate goal is to get you off the sideline and get you into the
and for people who are not there,
into the
all
game.
Right, it's two different type of people. It's people who like, I ain't there, I need some help getting there. man, we'll give you a free roadmap to what it takes.
Yeah.
Now we ain't buying the trade lines for you. We're not gonna buy the stuff for you, but that roadmap of how to get there, we'll get that to you for free. Like we got people in our office, that's what they do all day, every day. If you're already at a 680, 700, and you want business funding, we can help you get that too. All right. So understand that what you need is in front of you. You gotta be willing to take action.
Yeah.
And don't look at it from your lens, like Ashley said.
Yeah, don't look at it from your lens. Literally, just do it. It's 2025. We already in February. We don't want March to come, and we still talking about things we were gonna do last March.
Ooh.
So let's do it, y'all. Like I promise you, it's attainable. It's.
I know we got to go.
Objects are closer than you think.
But we'll drop a link to book a call, 15-minute call. We ain't telling you nothing. We can just help you. But we gotta answer Ms. Parker's question before we go.
Absolutely. She says, what to do with the funding after you get it. All right, after you get the funding, there's what this is called liquidating. Okay. You want to liquidate what you need if you need it. And then what are you going to invest in? If it's real estate that you're going to invest in, you want to make sure you put those funds into an account so that it seasons over 30 to 60 days, so that as you are applying for real estate funding, you have those bank statements. All right. I was able to. Oh, okay. I'm gonna talk about. Oh, D, you just doing too much. You overwhelming me with good stuff. But you can liquidate it, okay? And that's taking it off the credit card, or if you got a business line of credit, you can just use that line and literally deposit it into your checking account so that you can start using it. All right. And ideally, you want to buy an asset that's going to produce a return so that it pays off those monthly payments. And that leads me into D said, I was able to give treasure. Remember, I told you there's 3 T's: time, talent, and treasure. She was able to provide treasure to someone and receive a profit off of money that was never even hers to begin with. D became the bank and lended the bank's money and made profit. And I know that's a lot, D. She made profit.
That's a lot to the people listening.
Off of business funding that was never hers to begin with. Okay, Chris.
Y'all, we got these good credit scores, and they ain't putting no money in your pocket, y'all. Y'all, let's stop holding on to this credit like it's the only thing in the world. If you got credit and you ain't got no money in your pocket, go get some business funding.
Yeah.
So you can start investing this money and making some money in your sleep. Like, don't get caught up just, I got to hold on to my credit. I got to protect my credit. Man, you got to use that credit. That credit is meant to make money.
It's meant to make money.
If it's not making you money, it's not doing its job. I see you got a lot of comments over here.
Yes, Tamika. And I'm not going to say every step of the way, I'm not going to lie to you, but we're going to help you get into those deals, and we're going to teach you the foundations behind them. Yep. Come on, Thrive 2025. I like how that sounds. Come on.
Let's go. We got, come on now.
Yes, Miss Parker.
Give me some lunch.
Yes.
Chris,
yes.
What Chris wrote?
My daughter needs help with her credit, even though she's not an investor.
We got her, Chris.
Yeah, let's just do a roadmap with her and find out where she is and what she needs. Absolutely. We could do that. All right. You guys have an amazing day. We will see.
If you got something from this, man, make sure you invite somebody to the group so they can watch this training also.
Tag them in this training so that they can see it.
Let's grow the community so that we can help more people. Each one teach one.
Absolutely. Next week, we will not be having a class next week.
What?
Yep. But we'll be back the week after. All right. Love you guys. Peace.